Andrew Monk. He is CEO of VSA Capital. The firm specialises in providing services to companies operating in the natural resources sector. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Where are we in the discovery of the potential of African oil? There seems to be an awful lot of potential there, doesn't there?
Yeah, I think there is a huge amount of potential on both sides. The East African Rift on the east, obviously, and the west as well, mainly offshore there. There's still a lot more to come. Some of what I describe as very early stage people like Tullow, who were in there very early, are there, and we're starting to see a lot of the bids come out for people like Cove and Bowleven. But I think Africa is probably going to be the story for oil for the next 10 years, just as the North Sea was in the 80s and 90s. Probably it's Africa for the sort of noughties and 2010s to 2020s.
Now, there would be a lot of concern perhaps among investors with companies there because it's seen still as quite a high risk and quite a difficult place to do business. Is that view a little outdated now?
Yeah, I think it is a little outdated. I mean, normally when you find a lot of oil, it's wherever you are in the world, it's difficult because a lot of oil brings all sorts of problems with it. But I would say it's outdated. A lot of these African countries now actually have legal systems that are quite similar to the UK. The ministries actually are quite well, again, they tend to copy UK or American laws. So it's a pretty safe place to deal with nowadays.
Now, there does seem to be quite a lot of merger and acquisition in amongst those who are there. Is that something that's likely to continue?
Yeah, I think it's bound to continue. And I mean, you just mentioned Tullow. I think Tullow is, to me, it's the enterprise, the new enterprise. Enterprise was always a bid favourite, and eventually, of course, it did get taken out. I think it's inevitable that Tullow will get taken out. It's just a case of when, who, and how much. Right.
Okay. And well, Glencore are in a lot of merger and acquisition talks at the moment. Are they potential buyers of Tullow?
Yeah. I think one of seeing Glencore is vertically integrating. Basically, it's a trader going down the chain, and you've got to say that one of the big traders has to be a potential buyer of Tullow. Yeah.
Now, who is really making money out of what's happening in Africa? Is it these mining companies and the exploration companies as they get bigger and bigger?
Yeah, I mean, they clearly are. I mean, their share prices are going up. So is it the companies or the shareholders of the companies? I mean, everybody is. Look, the countries are as well. I mean, the state of Africa, as we just pointed out earlier, is improving. And it's a very important part of their revenue.
Of course, Africa isn't a homogenous mass. Which are the countries that are doing best at the moment and that are perhaps the easier ones to do business in? Yeah,
I mean, I think on the east coast you've got certainly Tanzania is doing very well, big gas finds there, Mozambique as well. Kenya is probably going to benefit slightly from it. On the west coast, I mean, the up-and-coming sort of countries are places like Namibia, but then you've also got the Ghanas, the Liberias. Nigeria actually is starting to look quite interesting again as well. We had that big Shell divestment programme. There's been quite a lot of complications with that, but I would say that's starting to look a lot healthier as well.
Now, investors who would like a slice of the action, where should they be looking? Should they be looking at those at the bigger companies, the Glencores?
Well, I personally would say no, because they're the people who are going to do the buying. So I'd rather be in the target companies, such as a Tullow, or perhaps some of the smaller ones, and I'll look forward, thank you very much, to a 50 or 100% bid premium.
OK, so risky, but that's where the money is.
If you want reward, you need to take a bit of risk.
Absolutely. OK, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Andrew Monk, CEO of VSA Capital.